$4,200 or something like that went to ARPA.
I think that's what she had told me, yeah. I don't know that she spent anything other than that since then. So.
I'm still doing AAA tolling, Rick. It's not worth it.
Nope. I don't do any contract telling you know. Contract.
Yeah, well, we think it's nice minutes, Terry. Nice minutes.
And so we had no exercise. This time we beach now, right, our house. That's up, I don't use that food.
Oh, who's here?
Sparkles, probably.
Yeah.
I think I'll mention. Bring the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
We'll approve the minutes from July 9th and July 16th. And I'd like to thank Terry very, very much. Awesome minutes. Thank you very much for doing that.
You're welcome.
On these. I'd like to strike this. Basically, I'm just keep that for a long. That's just that's nothing to do with it. So you're okay with that? And on was right here. Frank reads, you know, if we do a lot of research. You said, well, she asked. I didn't, well, you said you made sure it was a glad you did. I didn't catch it. So close for that, you know, the 360 camera and all that. All right, so that would be Frank. I'm glad you caught it, glad it. So with those changes, I would make a motion to accept it. I'll second. All in favor? So.
Thank you.
These are the minutes from last week with RHR. I know you weren't in attendance, so I guess I don't know how to handle that versus me. I read over them in the detail. Well, I watched actually, so yeah. So I'll make a motion. We accept the meeting minutes for July 16th. I'll second. All in favor?
Did you vote on the first minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't catch the vote. Thank you.
All the payroll was made. That was all taken care of, right?
Should have been all taken care of that.
Is Willie in attendance?
He's here. Yes, I did.
Willie, question for you. Skate park. There was money raised and appropriated in your budget. Anything going on with skate park? Any plans? Anything?
We looked online at some used ramps. We were going to add some more ramps. We haven't purchased anything yet, but we were going to buy some more equipment for up there.
Okay, when you say we, Friends of Rec, you, the rec itself, yeah. How's that going to work?
Well, I researched some myself. I did mention it at a Friends of Rec meeting as well to have them keep their eye out. That's where we're at.
While we're on that subject. That's lumber or whatever that's out there on the outside of the fence.
Yeah.
Is that stuff that needs to be hauled off, or is it something? There's some stuff piled up there. I don't know where it came from, if it was part of the skate park or part of something else.
That was part of the garden that was outside of the fence there. I believe, Vinnie reworked that area out there. So I believe it's,
My only question is, should it be removed, or is it gonna be reused?
I would say removed.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Vinnie Lenabera.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to speak and everything, and, you know, I just get some questions, stuff, and criticisms, anybody, individual group or committees. Anyway, I submitted once about, concerns about liabilities, for the town involved with the newsletter. And I like the newsletter at times, and get no gripes about the newsletter, just concerns about liability. And, the selectmen were gonna contact legal. And,
Okay,
uh,
I believe. I don't know what the deal is with the town's attorney, but I can attest.
yeah,
An email was sent out July 11th requesting information from the town's attorney. She just responded today, and actually, in that response, I kind of took that as a little bit half-assed at that. So, also, I contacted the town attorney July 1st, requested information. Got it in a week from one of her paralegals,
uh-huh,
and not even what I asked for. And then I spoke to her last Monday morning, requesting information, and I've yet to get an answer
yeah,
from
I'm
that.
just wondering what the status.
So your guess is as good as ours. Cause I called today, left a message. So I can honestly attest, folks, that the town's attorney, it's when she gets around to it.
Okay.
So, we'll follow up with that.
Yeah.
To find out what the liability is. I can speak from previously being on the board, that the newsletter was vigorously run through the town's attorney at the time, Leah Rachin, and we followed her directions. I believe Mr. Flynn was on the board as well at the time, and we followed what was requested. So,
Well, I know the previous board they mentioned there was some correspondence. The attorney said that no matter what happens, they would defend the town, you know, and that's their obligation. And
Yeah.
that's, my concern is probably to stop possibility of a liability before it goes in. I mean, they might defend the town with their contract money, but that doesn't defend the town for any settlement might happen for defamation or whatever. That's all. I'm just concerned about liability.
okay, so what would your suggestion be?
My suggestion?
Yeah.
I think, well, I mentioned before, I think the newsletter should be independent. It is private, and it should be supported with donations or advertising, not advertising it. Like the other newsletters, the Freiburg Matters newsletter, there's the Dragonfly, the Historical Society has a newsletter that they do by themselves, but they don't. You know, plus seeking the selectmen's approval on a newsletter puts the weight of responsibility on the selectmen as to what the content is and liability issues, you know, that's a concern. And so, I mean, that's my feelings about it.
On that, I won't answer for Frank, but I'll answer for me. I have zero problem taking responsibility and reviewing it and providing anything that I think would be a problem. I'm sure that they would answer to that. But as reading a newsletter in its draft form and seeing what's in its contents, I've read that every one of them that have come out. I don't see where any of them are controversial or would put a liability on the town for a lawsuit. Only because I haven't read anything that's defamatory in nature. When the newsletters come out, for election time, it's a quick excerpt. They asked certain questions, they were answered by the candidates. None of the candidates complained, or had any concern at that time. So I guess I'm at a loss as far as the concern that there's a liability, a large liability for a lawsuit on the town. The town does not. Right,
Right,
And
but, okay.
there are disclaimers. I'm pretty sure there's a disclaimer on the very first page.
Yep, there's a disclaimer that says it's not a town newsletter, but it's still by the town approving it. What's the substance of what's in the newsletter? And, you know, sure, I mean, you can look at it, I can look at, anybody can look at it, they can't have, I don't have legal expertise, you don't have legal expertise.
Agreed.
To see if it might be a definite, so I'm just trying to eliminate possibility ahead of time. And there's no reason that newsletter can't come out privately anymore. I mean, the other thing is, if someone else wants to also have a newsletter in the town, where does it end? You know, I mean, you know, with the town.
Agreed.
Piece of materials, you
Agreed.
can't discriminate. So,
No,
I mean,
and that was brought up, what, 2 meetings ago?
yeah,
And I thought I was pretty clear. Hey, you wanna write a newsletter, bring it in. Let's have at it. You know, multiple opinions with correspondence that's given out to the taxpayers. I don't see a problem with that.
well,
You
the
know,
thing
there's
is,
different points of view on pretty much every topic out there.
well, I mean, the more newsletters you have, the more possibility of liability also. And it also puts more weight on the selectmen to have to review more newsletters. And I'm just trying to, and I'm trying to avoid for the town.
Yeah.
The possibility of a suit is something that should be done privately outside of the town. That's, and I don't have any problem with the newsletter. But I don't want that understood.
Well, in regards to the, you know, I can appreciate the limiting liability for town. I do greatly appreciate that. As far as the workload on the selectmen, for me, I'll make my choice on what my workload is. As Frank can do the same.
Yeah, no, just, you know,
If Frank doesn't want to do it, Frank has that option.
well, there's more people, there's more newsletters, it's more work.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, and the other thing was, I just got some questions on the comprehensive plan implementation committee.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess there was some members appointed last week. Were they appointed or just a list was appointed, approved?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the implementation committee was formed and put in place last year. I asked for the list of implementation committee members, which the implementation committee was put to, was turned over to the planning board. Planning board chair has cognizance over the implementation committee. So I received this from Pam Thomas, comprehensive plan implementation steering committee. Steve Nutty, chair, Terry Lockhead, secretary, Joe Egan, Terry Egan, Kurtwood, Sue Elin, and Lisa Thompson. Those are the current members listed per May 8th. And I received this July 16th. So as far as I know, May 8th, were there any changes after May 8th on the committee?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so that really stands as is.
And they're appointed by the planning board or?
No, these should have been appointed by the select board.
By the select board,
Excuse me?
by the select board, and that was last year.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
This is dated from Terry Lockhead, May 8th, 7:02 PM. And CPI steering committee, right there, laid out as such. 6:30, third Tuesday, August 20, Tuesday, November 19, June 18, September 17, Tuesday, December 17. And there's a chain of email here. Along with the contact list was Laura Amica, Alina Day, Terry Egan, Joe Egan, Susie Lind, Alice Fitzgerald, William Flynn, Terry Lockhead, Judy McIlvain, Steve Nutty, Tom Sando, Deb Tate, Lisa Thompson, Kurt Wood, with phone numbers for all but one and emails. And this one, July 2nd, was sent, planning board, Pam Thomas to Alvina. So, yep,
So are there any term limits? I mean, they have staggered term limits on
there are no term limits on appointment for a committee.
committee, okay,
Correct.
yeah.
The appointments last as long as the members want them to last, or the select board makes the decision to terminate.
Is there a certain number of people that are on the committee continuously, or so that, I mean, if other people want to come on the committee, if there's a vacancy, how do they approach it? Who do they approach the planning
The
board?
implementation committee themselves, along with the planning board.
So if I could just add a little bit to that.
Yeah.
So the original comprehensive plan committee was appointed by the select board.
Mhm.
And then when that was completed, the implementation committee, some of the members transitioned to a steering committee. They were approved by the planning board. And then the longer list of names that Rick read are a fuller steering committee for people working on various chapters. And anybody who wants to can join those or quit when they want to. So they're all people who have just volunteered their time to work on different chapters. And the steering committee helped guide them and communicate through the town offices what work is being completed. So anybody who wants to join is welcome to join.
On the implementation committee,
Yes,
or not just the steering committee, just
the implementation committee.
And like this past town meeting, they requested funding.
Mhm.
Will they be requesting funding separately from the planning board, or will they be requesting it through the planning board?
Well, it's my understanding that it was brought to the budget committee as a separate item, and then it was rolled into the planning board. Is that what happened? Or, yes, so now that we've established that they are under the cognizance of the planning board, I will leave it to them to bring that budget forward, and Frank, I, and whoever the other selectmen are, will decide at budget the warrant, how we're gonna incorporate.
Because there was a letter from the chairman of the implementation committee
Yep.
in, I think it was October, to put money in the budget in the article for this year, but they were requesting the money for 23-24, not 24-25. So that's why my question was at the town meeting. So when they come in for money again, it'll go through either the planning board as a total budget, or will it be separated by the two? Because their budget this year, planning board budget was like 3,300, take 15,000 off for the lawyer,
Yeah,
and the implementation committee was 2,600.
yep.
So it was almost as much as the planning board,
Mhm.
but the planning board is much more intensive, and the requests from what they do. So I mean, that's all, I'm just wondering where the money's gonna be requested from and how it's gonna be allocated.
Okay. Joe?
At our last planning board meeting, we got a breakdown sheet from Lynn. Lynn included 26, 25 in there. So our budget is, 1/10 what the planning board's budget is. That's the latest. Makes sense.
So as far as to answer your question on how it will be presented to the taxpayers next year, the select board will make that decision when the time comes for the warrant,
Okay,
as to whether we're gonna include it in the planning board budget, or if it's gonna be a separate item or its own article in and of itself. We'll make that decision at the time.
okay, yeah, and my questions about, well, with the auditor that was here last week, and treasurer, but Lynn isn't here, but that's questions. So I'll let that slide for another time.
Okay.
That's okay with me. Thank you.
Safety committee meeting. I asked Bill if he would kind of head the safety committee. He had a really good handle on it, back in his day. So, I asked, he graciously accepted. So that will be, Bill work with me, do the schedule. One thing I will say is all town employees will attend safety meetings. This is not an option, it's a requirement. So that will be conducted as such. Um, are you looking at monthly, quarterly?
To be perfectly honest with you, I've started putting things together. And the last time we tried it, it was quarterly, that every 90
Yep.
days. Since it went by the wayside, as we started up, I'd like to do it more frequently.
Okay.
And when things begin to look like we know what the heck we're talking about, perhaps we could cut back. But I'm gonna contact again, like I did the first time on Safety Works, get some ideas from them about how the committee should be run. I'm going to ask each of the people who run the department to sit with me for a little while and we'll talk some details of the plan, and then we'll actually get it going.
Okay. All right, so,
Yeah, I had Safety Works at the shop. And I was gonna get Bill up to speed on that. They come in monthly to check our stuff. They haven't been to the transfer station yet. But like I said, I was gonna get Bill up to speed on what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So I can probably, we'll get together on that.
have at it. As soon as the schedule's configured, we'll post it on the website. And that way everybody knows what's going on. Yeah, are you good with the monthly and then cutting back after everything's spooled up?
It's gonna take a little time to get everything back up to speed. I'm
Right.
sure.
So, yeah, we can do that. What,
Moving forward, my opinion, would be to not have all employees attending all of these safety meetings, because I feel like if you're talking all town employees, that would include all fire department members, all coaches, every member who's covered under the town insurance, which I believe covers those. If you want to do one, okay, I think moving forward, I would feel like monthly or quarterly meetings should happen. I think that's good. I would feel that should be just department heads, and you discuss, figure out, research whatever you need to. And then if it's specific to a department, public works, transfer station, rec, fire department, the town office, that the department head then goes back in their own group, their own underlings,
Okay, so-
and discuss whatever was talked about at the public safety.
okay, so
Okay.
I'll make this statement then, and Frank, if
I'll let you know if I don't.
right. Full-time employees, all full-time employees of the town of Brownfield will attend every safety meeting as required by the town. So that'll take care of that. As far as coaches, things of that nature, they're not paid. So they're not a town employee. A town employee consideration is like Mike Vane. He's a stipend employee. We negotiate his pay every year that goes into the warrant article and is paid that way. Fire department falls under the same deal. The firefighters, other than Dickey, are stipend. They are paid one lump sum once a year at the request of the fire chief. So the fire department training, we're not the safety liaison is not going to conduct firefighter safety training monthly. So, that's a separate entity. I mean, that's specialized training. This is safety training, general safety training for the town employees. So I will leave that to Bill. I have no problem with a safety meeting going on after it's up and running. they do monthly and they decide to bring it back to, once a quarter. Perfect. At that point, I would take the considerations of the people running it to say, let the department heads attend and they'll go back and talk to their people and spread the information. Me personally, I would consider that, but I would prefer that if it's quarterly, town employees attend anyway. Because it's once every 3 months, and it's always good to be reminded. We're human, we all do the same thing, we get complacent, we get used to the same thing daily. So a quarterly meeting for 30 minutes, I think is warranted. To make sure our safety standards are being maintained and upheld. Yes.
Safety meetings, I know where I worked before, when people attend the safety meetings, it reduces insurance. With this reduced insurance, because of return to safety meetings, it always happened before, so us town employees attending it, is that gonna reduce our insurance, for liability and stuff, we attend these safety meetings?
I don't know,
Is this
but we can
personal
ask
or
town.
town insurance, not personal?
Town insurance, cause I know when I worked
Okay.
with Coleman's,
Okay,
if we attend the safety meetings, it reduced insurance, because we attend the meetings, we know what we covered, when we signed that we were there. We attended OSHA, we attended MSHA training,
mhm,
we were covered, we knew the safety laws, so if we broke it, it came back on the employees.
mhm,
Can you reach out to Chalmers
sure.
and ask the question, and if we have an active safety program, which I know we do because Safety Works is down here. Dickie's got a pretty good in with those guys.
Yeah.
So if it would affect our insurance rates, that'd be great. Okay, I received an email from RHR Smith in regards to the expense contract expense numbers. I received it Sunday. Reads as such. Hey all, great seeing you all last week. Please find below estimate to complete the fiscal year 23 audit and the 24 audit price. In addition, please find details on cost for accounting support for Lynn throughout the year for cash reconciliation assistance and trio accounting support. Number one, estimated cost to complete the fiscal year 23 audit and accounting assistance to reconcile various general ledger accounts, $11,000. Estimated cost to complete the fiscal year 24 audit and accounting assistance to reconcile various general ledger accounts, $13,000. Estimated cost for accounting support for Lynn throughout the year for cash reconciliation assistance and trio accounting support amount up to and not to exceed $10,000 for 120 hours. They are knee deep in 23 audit as discussed and would like to assist in reconciling 23 info to wrap it up. So Lynn is currently on vacation. So next week, this was sent to the town and Lynn as well. So we'll have a discussion with Lynn to find out how she wants to proceed and where we can get the money from. There was 15,000 that was raised and appropriated in the admin for audit expense. So 15 out of that came up to 34,000. So we're down to 20,000 that we're gonna have to come up with in order to do that contract price with RHR for Lynn, with Lynn in the audits. So next week we have a discussion with Lynn and then find out where and how we can get the money. Would that be prudent?
I know we have a whole lot of choice, we gotta do something, get it straightened out.
Agreed. We could, I would think that we could have a discussion with Ron, to agree to it and put, an article on the local ballot for November. I think that would Because we can't raise and appropriate after November first, because tax rate is set. So, in the first, bills go out. So. In the discussion with Lynn, if we can do a, article on that November local ballot for the money to come out of reserve, it's not raise and appropriate, we're good to go. There's no doubt that we gotta do this.
All right,
So we're kind of, we're in a rock and a hard place. We gotta get it. So I would suggest we do the November ballot. It'll be a simple, local ballot. That's produced here. So would that be acceptable? Yeah, because I can reach out to Ron and see if we can set up, if they're wrapping up that audit, 21, 22, we should get our brief anyway. So he could come in, Lynn would be present, and we could discuss those options prior to the November deal so that we can come up with an agreement.
all right.
So, I'll reach out to Ron tomorrow and see if we can set something up or, yeah, you know, because Lynn will be back next week, pretty sure.
Yes.
So, Joe?
First off, who are you? I don't recognize you. You're filling in for Rick.
You know, it's the rosy cheeks, isn't it?
We had 15,000 in the budget committee for this year.
Yes.
Didn't we have some in for last year? Did we spend that already, or can we put that towards the estimate that Ron came up with?
Well, that's just it, is the 23, 24 audit. That would be that 15,000. Because we're gonna have to pay for this coming audit for 24, 25. So maybe we can kind of work something out with Ron and negotiate. Hey, look, you know, if we were to pull 35,000 out of reserve as a warrant article, we're covered completely, including this fiscal year's audit as well. So where we don't do rollover, we're gonna have to request to take it out of, and where it wasn't expended, it went into surplus. So we're gonna have to take the full amount out. So I'm glad he included those three prices. The 10,000 is the help, the reconciling and the trio. And then the two remaining audits that we have, because we should have already gotten a bill, or should be getting a bill on the 21, 22 audit. So,
And do you think that after the audits are resolved, that we'll need, you know, like an exit audit or a forensic audit or anything like that?
I don't think we will, but I will leave that up to Lynn and the auditor. What their decision is, I will back. She's the money people. She knows more about money than I do.
Do you have any indication that this is correcting existing issues, or will it continue like this moving forward?
No, in his email, it stated, when he came in here last week, his statement was the cash reconciliation hadn't happened in 3 years. So he addressed that with a cash reconciliation and the ledger changes. Bill, you were here. Every year we were paying additional monies, $1,500, $2,500 for journal entry. And from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, the explanation we were provided is the journal entries were the fixes to what was wrong throughout that audit year, input and output. So they basically were kind of straightening our books up as they were doing the audit. I can remember the auditor coming in here and having 2 tables laid out, and it was covered. And they were here for a week, doing the audit, and doing the journal entries and working with Wanda to get everything squared up so that we could get our audit. I think the last, I can remember, I think 2,500 was the high that we had to pay for the additional, bookkeeping, journal entry. So with this from RHR, I'm taking it as they are fixing it. And once that's done, from there forward is a new, right. So.
Thank you.
Frank, I need to, set up a workshop. Cliff, you're with us as well. And Joe from the transfer station. We need to have a workshop to, work on the job description for transfer station attendant number 1. So that we can update that and make sure that everybody's on the same sheet of music for responsibilities. So I don't know what your work schedule is.
Pretty open.
Okay, all right,
I
and
love
you're
it.
still driving duck truck.
I am,
Okay.
that's, if I've got something planned,
Okay.
no big deal.
Cliff, if you could reach out to Joe so we can get some kind of schedule. Guesstimate when we could all get together and sit down in a workshop to go over this, let me know. And actually, just turn it into Alvina and give me a call, whatever you guys want to do time wise. Like you, I'll set the time so we can come up here. Shouldn't take more than an hour. You know, all we should have to do is go over the additional responsibilities that are above and beyond that job description on the transfer station attendant line. So, okay.
You got a job description for that?
There should be one in the personnel policy.
There is one.
Okay, yeah, so we'll go over that and mark it up, put in a lot
I
of
read
red
a
ink.
copy of that. Policy of the
Sure.
job description.
Yep. Yep, I'll let him get you one.
Sure.
If you could make 4 copies, that way we all have one. Cliff, if we can get this knocked out in, say, next week, that'd be great. So we can get moving on this and get everything set up.
Yeah, I don't think Joe had a problem with. Other than Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, I guess.
Okay. All right, on,
Excuse me, would the job description that we had, remember that guy Jim?
yes,
Would his job description be something that would be interesting to look at?
do you have it?
Probably.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll take it.
I'll take a look.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that, Bill.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a request in here, pay for the planning board secretary from hourly to salary. Base pay $365.39, retroactive from July 1st. Request from Sonny Fry, and these were, this was spoken to Lynn. Lynn was in agreement, so I'll make a motion, we approve this.
It's really not changing the amount, it's just
No,
technical.
all technicality.
I don't have a problem.
I make a motion, we accept it?
Does Pam accept it?
Yes.
Okay. I know how that works, John.
Make a motion.
Second it.
All in favor? Thank you. That one. Okay, Cliff, you were in the room when we were discussing, in the executive. Correct? Okay, so I have a request in here, authorization. I'm gonna hold that until we come to agreement collectively, and then at that time, we'll move forward with that one for the pay increase. Okay? You good with that?
Yeah.
Now, they had an executive session with Cliff about something to do with pay.
Yeah,
Don't know what it was about.
Yep. Yes, ma'am, I did.
it's probably using Pat all
There
the
was an
time.
executive session that was conducted, July 9th.
Cliff right there and didn't say a word.
He can't
Why?
because the stuff ain't together yet.
Say,
Brian
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sitting right beside Cliffy.
Okay. Cindy, have you been in receipt for the, bark and dog complaint, 55 Denmark Road? Alina, could you please provide that to her so she
I
can
will.
take action with that?
I think it's 58.
You sent me,
Oh, it says 50.
Oh, okay. So 58, I guess.
Yeah, not that.
Maybe a typo, 58. You'll be in receipt of that and just let us know what happens.
58 Denmark Road. That's the Reeds. There's a dog complaint of barking. The fucking dog don't make a peep. It's got to be Greavy's.
it's
Go
April.
back also right here,
Is that anything?
Sounds like.
manage dogs,
Okay.
basher
Uh,
dogs.
We have, authorization
All
list
dogs
for
bark
first
when
each
somebody comes in the
contact.
fucking yard, but
Uh,
I've never heard them bar
the
dogs bark.
selectman, town clerk, tax collector, CEO, assessor, admin assistant, fire chief, and health officer. So this will have to change here and add Bill to that.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Also, planning board chair and planning board secretary. So the changes will be made and we will sign the new or the revised contact form.
Okay,
So do you want that over there?
I'll take it. So I'm,
All right, municipality Brownfield, Maine policy and treasurer's disbursement warrants for employee wages and benefits. You guys want me to read this? Yes, no? Okay. Purpose, this policy allows designated municipal officers, selectmen, acting on behalf of the full board of municipal officers, to review, approve, and sign municipal treasurer's disbursement warrants for wages and benefits only. This policy is in addition to, not in lieu of, majority power. Nothing in this policy is intended to replace the authority of the full board of municipal officers, acting by majority vote to act on any treasurer's warrant, including warrants for wages and benefits. Delegation of authority pursuant to 30 RSA 56032A1. The following authority is granted with respect to the treasurer's disbursement warrant for municipal employee wages and benefits only. Current municipal officers in office at the time of execution of this policy are Ricky Emery, chairman, and Frank Day. Any one of the municipal officers named above and acting alone may review, approve, and sign such warrants. Effective date, this policy becomes effective on the date indicated below. Copies, a copy of this policy shall be provided to the administrative assistant, municipal clerk, and municipal treasurer. If the clerk and treasurer are the same person, a copy shall nonetheless be provided to that person in each capacity. Lapse, this policy lapses 1 year after its effective date, if not sooner amended or canceled. Renewal, this policy may be renewed at any time before its lapse, therefore it may be readopted at any time. Any renewal is valid for 1 year from its effective date unless a sooner date of expiration is specified. Reminder, the municipal treasurer is an appointed official. The treasurer shall remind the municipal officers to consider renewing this policy before it lapses. If the treasurer is an elected official, the treasurer is requested to provide such an annual reminder. Original, the administrative assistant will maintain the original of this policy on file unless the municipal clerk is an appointed official, in which case the clerk shall maintain it on file. I make a motion, we accept this policy.
I second it.
All in favor?
I've read it all. I didn't sign it, so I wanted to make sure that you didn't want to make changes in that.
Can you give us an example of when that'll come into play?
What?
Just read. Like, what's the importance of that?
If, like Lynn is out, the select board has the authority to sign for expenditure. Benefit and wages, that's it. We got a bill here for Brownfield Rec front pad bill, from Traffic Concrete, pad total 2,500. Definitely, I make a motion, we take it from the ARPA funds, which I believe is 4,200 and change left.
Second.
All in favor? Perfect. Yes, yes.
You guys gonna start charging interest for one thing, but quick.
Ah, house price took this long. Uh, Cliff, did you get the Fen Hill email that I forwarded? Okay, so if you could get spooled up on that, because it did state 28,750 as a matching funds. So we're gonna need to let the taxpayers know we're gonna be looking for that 28,750 bucks. I'm glad that they did push it off for completion in 2025. So this is from Matt Streeter. I apologize for being out of touch for a while. I'm beginning to work on the permit applications for the Glen Hill Road Culvert Replacement Project, which at this point is likely to be completed in 2025. I noticed that Brownfield has elected new select board members. Is someone else I should be contacting? Because this was sent to Dick. Also, in the funding application of Maine DOT, we said that the town would vote on matching funds in the amount of 28,750 for the grant. I'm not sure if that ever happened. Maybe we need to get that on the warrant for next year. Could you let me know your thoughts above? Refer to it. I'll be reaching out to Matt Streeter, and if you could as well, Cliff, you might as well be the primary contact for that, where you guys are gonna be the ones out there doing it anyway. Right. So, keep us up to speed on
I
that.
did talk to him today
Oh, good.
because I didn't have a clue what was going on. So I wanted to come
I
out.
can remember Trout's Unlimited, we got a pretty healthy grant. We put out for bid, and the bids were like 3 times what they ever anticipated.
Yeah,
It was defeated, and then I didn't hear anything about it after that.
well, there's
So,
since then, talking with him today, I didn't even know who he was from or anything until I called him, but they changed some of the materials so that they got the price down.
oh, good.
And I guess right now, the only thing that's really holding them up is, well, 2 things. They gotta get the permits. And they don't figure they're gonna have time to get it done this year because of that. And the getting the money from the town.
That's correct.
Well, we gotta get that approved, so.
And that may be something we want
He-
to put that November ballot
For
for requesting.
maybe, but he's gonna send you some information or send to the town.
Okay.
But, you know, he hasn't got the exact figure right now.
Oh,
He's got it pretty close, but he said he'd get it together and,
Have you seen the bids?
no, I haven't.
You must have a copy of it.
I assume I do. I've got a file this thick on.
This one.
And here, yeah.
There you
it's
go.
about- Yeah,
oh,
The
good.
only question they had on was the lowest bidder. When they put it in, he didn't have where he's gonna get his material, no job. You know,
It sounded,
the jobs that he's done. You know, like Rick said, look, the bid that he,
Yeah, the bid for that was,
yeah,
that was a lot.
right.
That was a big spread. Cause of,
So that's when Matt he had a question on it.
right,
Did anybody know this person?
I remember one of them, it was called the skid steer guy.
Yeah,
That was it. Yeah, the guy out of Maple. Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't hear anything after that, because the bids were too high. And when Matt Streeter should know that, because he's the one who said, "Whoa, wait a minute, that's a lot higher than we anticipated."
right,
So then after that, I didn't hear. So.
yeah, Estes and Keel was close, and then you had the skid steer guy in Brew.
Right.
That was,
now he told me today that Rob Drew is the one that actually got it, but they haven't signed any contract, so
all that's going on,
that could,
mentioned.
yeah. That's one of the seven going in highs.
Is this our copy, or is that the one to go to her?
that's ours. I'll make a copy for her. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll do it before she leaves.
Red Cross sent us a thank you letter for the 825. Was in the warrant. We have, MMA. The Freedom of Access Act, required training, it'll happen Thursday, August 22nd, 4:30 to 6 here.
It's Zoom.
Yep. So.
They did it last year independently.
Wow.
They did it at home.
Think about this. We did it 1 year before we did this, we presume, we got 302 takeout. Because it was during dinner time.
All right.
That idea.
Oh,
Well, think about
I like that idea.
So yes, whoever, we did it was the select board administrative assistant and somebody else just said, somebody else can have it. But put it all to the elected officials, it's required, saying we're gonna have anything. And let's just do a dinner. We're in agreement with that.
yeah, I think I could.
I'm back in there, like,
Yeah. I'm old, I like to eat food.
all right, so we're good there. Stack here, right. All right. Public safety building meeting will be tomorrow at 7 AM. Take it that's here. Okay. Wit. I asked last week for the list of committee members and the structure. I've not received that yet, so if you could get that to me.
I did send an email to LB, it was late today,
Okay.
checking to see if Dickie had done that yet. And there is no structure at the moment, there are no titles yet.
Okay.
That'll be taken care of tomorrow morning. And I'm still working on minutes, so that will be forthcoming.
All right, perfect.
That's open to the public.
Yes, many meetings will always be open to the public. I addressed the planning board, a couple of weeks ago, wanting to set up a meeting with the select board and the planning board. I would hope it'll be soon. It's pretty key that we all get acquainted and working for the same thing. I think that is it. Okay, any questions? Comments?
I got a comment.
Yes, sir.
I know Cliff don't like seeing me pull this up.
Fine, I got one.
Let's get a bigger one.
You got a big one. The culvert on Billy Brook, that log's still there.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, I moved around for that, that's another one.
Okay,
Apologize.
that's all right. I just wanted to let you know I'm not complaining. And then on, you know what, I'm sure you do, up on Dugway where the truck burned,
Yeah,
just above that. The shoulder's getting washed out, the pavement's starting to drop off.
okay.
I just want to let you know. And then on the Burnt Meadow Road paving, you said they fixed, they patched whatever. Well, I didn't really agree with you 100%, so I called Charlie, had him come and look at it. And he said, and I can show you some of the other issues if you want. He said it was a grading issue. And he's willing to come. I told him that I would discuss it first, and if we didn't agree, then he said he'd be willing to come and, at a meeting and explain what his take is on it. And
Charlie said it was a great age.
that's what he told me.
Before they paved it, they had the grader guy out there, and I asked him, I said, before you pave this, is it good? I've got a grader, if you want to grade it. He said, no, it's fine for me.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you what Charlie told me. Right, that'd probably be a good idea. But the only reason I talked to him when I did is because I also called him about putting an overlay on the church parking lot that we did last year. And that has nothing to do with Brownfield. And why he was there, because a week ago, I think it was, well, 2 weeks ago now, you made the statement that they had repaired that paving job. So I went down and looked, and if you go up over that first hill, there's 2 holes where the gravel's coming right up through. And there's some other places where has nothing to do with the grading or anything. I think personally feel that it's to do with the base underneath it, the pavement's starting to, crack and push. He looked at it and he suggested that, he didn't say that he was gonna stand behind any more of it than what he did, but he said that, he suggested that we might wanna think about overlaying what we got before we lose what we got. And he sent me a quote for an 1.5-inch overlay for $36,859.38. That's, that's not, there's nothing that says we gotta do it, but I'm just giving you the information.
Would it be smart for us to do it, to say what we got?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
If you go
I
down,
know this is Frank and Charlie, this is the first time I heard of this.
Well, no, I mean, would you agree that if the claim is we're gonna lose what we got if we don't put an inch and a half over?
We got, absolutely,
Right.
but I don't understand why we're having conversations with the paving guy without me being involved.
because you made the statement that they repaired.
The
What
other
was
hand
wrong?
of it, yes, I was getting.
Well,
Charlie,
No, you just said they repaired it, so I'm thinking they must have overlaid the whole thing,
ever
because I've
since
been,
Frank, I talked to Charlie.
wait a minute,
I've got questions with Charlie, and then if you're jumping in the middle of this and not telling me when we come to a meeting, I wanna have.
I'm telling you. Because I wasn't here last week, I'm telling you. Well, I'm sorry too, but I'm just trying to tell you now. We haven't done anything, Cliff,
Well,
other than,
yes, you are, and you should, hey, Cliff.
Okay,
we'll talk
okay,
about it.
all right. All right.
Are you getting what I'm talking about?
yeah,
You
All right,
should come to
well-
me and say, I'm gonna talk to Charlie about. this."
Stop now.
okay,
What will happen is we'll have a side discussion. And we'll handle this, okay? Well, this isn't gonna get hashed out in the selectmen's meeting.
I
that's
understand.
probably a good idea.
I just mentioned one thing, there was an article in the Sunday paper about, Brick Meadow Pond.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a real, complimentary article about Brick Meadow Pond and Brownfield. So,
That's where the millionaires live.
so, regulations on keeping Brick Meadow Pond going, but it might require more trash receptacles now because more people are aware of it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I almost forgot, Cliff. The boat launch area. Willie was contacted by the Porta-John people and we have a trash issue down there. If they get put in the Porta-Johns, if we don't do something, they're gonna stop servicing. So, we can discuss that as well, see what would work in the best interest so that we can take care of that issue. So that we still have a bathroom down there for the, the emergency stops, people cruising down 160. So, yeah, we'll discuss, see what we can come up with on that for a fix. So. All right. Anybody? Yep.
hate to bring up another issue about the roads, but I guess, Cliff, if you're looking at Dugway, where truck fire was, there are a lot of areas. At 158, where the culvert is, there's like a big hole now, right at the edge of the road that I think is pretty dangerous, so you kind of look at all of it would be great.
Oh,
Thank you.
Implementation committee, minutes. Are those getting posted on the website?
Did Terry Lockhead send them to you?
I didn't get a posting to post. I didn't think she sent like an email. And I typed it on the front page.
Okay, any of the committees that provide minutes, please, upload them to the town website. So
Yep,
that everybody has access to them.
I did.
Okay.
Like I said, I typed them right on the thing. I don't have a special,
So, I'll ask Terry to send you the documents. You
Yeah.
can post it where other committee minutes are.
yeah,
Okay.
okay, sounds
Okay.
good. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
Does anybody else think that that tree at the end of Dugway is a hindrance of sightline?
Oh,
To get in and out at the end of Dugway?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's state road, right?
Keep wanting to go out there.
Yeah,
So,
it's in the V of Dugway
So,
and on the state road, but when you pull down Dugway, you look up to the left, you cannot see.
I remember
I don't think it's even
Trying
a
to skip
tree.
the
I
stop
think it's a.
it. Yeah.
There isn't a stop sign anymore.
No, somebody took it. Who knows?
I don't even know who owns that piece of property, to be honest with you. I always was under the impression that it belonged to the house right across the road, right across the state road.
Oh,
They-
But if
Yeah.
it's like if it's hindering the road, one side, we can cut it, right?
I
Sightline.
don't know.
I would,
I'm
that's all I'm gonna
not
say.
a road guy, but I would say yes.
Gotta be living in town.
If it's enough right away, you can't see.
At least the limb that's sticking right up.
Right,
Whack it.
we'll cut it tomorrow.
Sweet. Look.
Right after the meet.
You know. Right after safety. Anybody else got anything? No? Okay. Make a motion, we adjourn.
Something.
All in favor? Thanks, folks. Stand by.
So.
Yep.
Yep, we right.
Yeah.